crafters. Welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and it is Labor Day. And I just can't believe where we're at. I am excited, right? Because I love the fall colors. I love getting into the purple and orange and all of that for Halloween. And then, Christmas colors, right? So just crazy. But welcome in. Thanks for being here for the Labor Day Holiday Quilting Bee. We will be working on the falling pattern today from Villa Rosa Designs. I have mine all cut and ready to go. Since this is not my pattern, obviously we will not be able to share measurements and all that, but anxious to see what folks are working on. If you decided to work on the falling pattern, that's fantastic. If you decided just to hang out and listen to me chat and see what everyone's doing in the chat, that's great too. Or if you're working on a different project, fun as well. Feel free to drop that down in the chat and tell us what you're working on. And at the same time, if you get your projects done or get so far ahead, if you want to drop it over to the Guys Craft 2 Facebook page, that would be awesome. And we'll be able to see what some other folks have worked on and what they've got going. So we do have prizes this morning, so we'll be doing that. I'll be chatting. You get me for 3 hours today. I actually did not invite a guest, so I'll be rambling on, talking about different things, just sharing what's going on. Feel free to drop in, drop out as you need to. If you need to run and grab another cup of coffee, amen to that. I just grabbed my what's going to be my last cup probably for the next 3 hours, but we'll make it work today. So let's see who is in the chat. My glasses is what I kept looking for. I knew I was looking for something. All right, so who has joined me this early morning? I will say, it's so funny. I'm used to being in the office by 6 a.m., but I've gotten really spoiled the last 3 days, just kind of dragging along. And man, 7 o'clock popped up on me quick this morning. But that's okay. I am set and ready to go. So Joydy was here. She got her front row seat. Welcome in, Miss Joydy, and thanks for being here. I was thinking of you last night as I was putting away some of the quilt kits and getting the new studio more organized. I thought, yeah, we'll have to make sure that Joydy gets a good tour of what's going on and when we get all of that set up. But that's going to be a couple of more weeks. It's just crazy. I've got the long arm still needs to be moved. I still need to get lights mounted so you all can see me and see what's going on. And we've got new cameras, a new microphone, all kinds of stuff to set up. So we'll see in the next couple of weeks how that plays out. Melissa's here. She says, getting ready for Labor Day run at 9. I'll join the live on the way home. I'm ready for this sew along. Look at you. You go, girl. I used to do a lot of half marathons. My niece and I had made the decision a few years ago that we would run a half marathon in every state. I thought moving to Arizona, I'd be able to be so much healthier, work out so much more, just because the weather is amazing here. Number one, they don't offer a fifth of the races that they offer back in Virginia, North Carolina, that area. So I guess because we lose so much in the summer, but still the race community and that out here is much, much different than back on the East Coast. Plus you lose all summer because it's just absolutely miserable. I work with a guy, he goes, well, yeah, he said it gets hot in the summer, so I get up at 2:30 to go run. I'm like, yeah, not happening. I'm not doing runs at 2:30 in the morning. So, but I miss it, but not enough that I'm ready to get up at 4 o'clock to be somewhere to get ready to be in another run. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get back to that point someday. Hey, Julie, good morning. Welcome in. You are most welcome. I enjoy hosting Holiday Quilting Bees. So all of us get to spend a little time together before we go off and do a picnic or whatever it is we're going to do the rest of the day. Melanie's here. Good morning, Miss Melanie. Oh, she goes, Joydy's been up since 2 a.m. Of course, you're first in line. Happy Labor Day, all you hard workers. Amen to that, right? All of those that are contributing to my, hopefully one day, Social Security. And those that unfortunately had to work today, but we appreciate them. Melanie says, I'll be with you in spirit today for the run. How cool is that? Julie, good morning. Noreen's here. Good morning. Jody says, good morning, John, Melissa, Julie, Melinda. Chatter's coming. Are we ready to sew? Woohoo! Yes, we are. I am anxious. I'll show you. I did finish. I got the first piecing done for all of the garden quilt that I'm doing, and I did that. That's actually a 3-yard quilt pattern. So now I need to put a couple of borders on it. So we'll see how that goes. Jody says, what are you all planning to work on, folks? And Noreen says she's going to do binding. See, I cannot do binding on a live because I use a lot of adjectives to help motivate me to get through the binding process. So yes, those YouTube would not approve. Now Jody's cutting Halloween fabric for cutting Halloween fabric for a table runner when she's not chatting. She's a good chatter. She always keeps us going. What else? Oh, Andrea's here. Mama J Enterprises. Howdy, everyone. Are we ready to partay? Yes, we are. We could really partay. I have the new Ninja slushy machine. We have had so much fun with that. We bought it knowing we put the margarita mix in it and make margaritas, but we've actually made milkshakes. We've made like Coca-Cola ices and a few things. So that has been an interesting investment for us. Not that we needed anything else to play with. Oh, Melanie says, I have a spooky sampler pattern that I found. It's 4 years old, but I'm going to try to do some of it. Yeah, there you go. I just keep finding Halloween stuff. It's just amazing. Actually, we'll talk about that when we get to some of the giveaways. Oh, look at Joy being smart. She says, I'm going to make the Halloween one reversible. So Thanksgiving on one side so it doesn't get thrown in a box in a month and just forgotten about. That's really smart. I have not thought about doing that, but right, how cool would that be to do one on one side and flip it over and use it on the other side? Because you're just doing doing two tops and then, huh, I really like that idea, Miss Joydy. Look at you always coming up with something. Hey, Balloonist from Tucson. Thanks for being here. Jean, happy Monday morning to you. Charlotte. Who else? Let's go on, go on, go on. Linda, the Irish lady, is here. Good morning. Welcome into the channel. Thanks for being here. Brian's up and ready to go this morning. Hey, Brian, thanks for being here. There's Mama Jan. Thanks for being here. Mama Jan. Mama Jan's coming over for a picnic later today. Andrea says, I'm working right along with you on this pattern. I have everything but the background cut, so I need to do that first before I start sewing. Yeah, and that is, I have to say, that is the one place where I'm getting spoiled now with the AccuQuilt, right? Because I just rough cut everything, run it through the AccuQuilt and stack it. So now I have stacks everywhere. So one of the patterns I really want to work on is, okay, never knew things could be so flat. This wreath pattern, I just really like this from Villa Rosa as well. So I did get it all cut out for to put together. I had no idea what a stack of goodies that was going to be. So that's another project that's cut and ready to go. And I will tell you, after cutting all of that out, I'm really thrilled I did have an AccuQuilt because there was a lot of cutting for that one, which is one of the reasons I've not done the Art East quilting projects yet. I have looked, I've watched John, John was just on with Russ and Stephanie. I really, really do like the new Peter Pan and I keep looking at it, but just don't know that I want to spend so much time cutting. There's just so much time, so much cutting involved with his patterns. Hey, Brian. Hey, Stitcher. Good morning. Jean's here. Danielle's here. Welcome in, Miss Danielle. Thanks for joining me on a holiday. She's been offline some this weekend, so I have not gotten my Danielle time like normal, but Danielle and I will be together next weekend. We will be on her channel next Saturday morning and then back on my channel on Sunday afternoon. So I am planning to work on a Halloween project. I haven't quite figured out what Halloween project that's going to be. I have two actually set aside. One is, I think, a wall hanging, and one is a more of a it's a table runner, right? But it's a more like an octagon table runner. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to work on, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. I have a little time, right? I've got what 4 more days before I have to really commit. Except I do need to get it cut before then because neither one of those are cut and ready to go. Mama Jan says only 115 days till Christmas, so that's what I've been working on lately, and from now till that day, amen. She's also working on a lot for the quilt show for our boutique. That's part of the quilt show in February. If you wonder what John's up to, what John's doing, if you go over to guyscraft2.com, I actually have an events page, and so right now the only two events on there that I know that I'm doing for sure is the Road to California because I get to see Miss Sally. So that's on my event page. And then our Quilt Guild, Quilt Club has their biannual show next February. And information about that show is on my events page as well. So you can always kind of see where John may or may not be. You can see John is not going to QuiltCon because I'm not flying across the country to do that. I'm really, really, really hoping in 28 that it comes back to Phoenix, but we'll see. But instead of QuiltCon next year, we are doing Road to California. Have my hotel reservations. I did not sign up for classes, and in fact, I've probably narrowed down the time that we're going. I think we're going to end up driving Thursday night after work. Either drive all 5.5 hours or drive part way and get up and finish Friday morning. Probably spend Friday at the show. Probably go back on Saturday just to see, make sure I didn't miss anything. And then either come home Saturday night or Sunday. We still haven't decided what that's going to look like. But, anyways, if you wonder what's going on and what is happening, I always have that on the events page on my website. I am hoping to get to Tucson in November for their show and that down there. I've never been. I'm excited about that. I just need to find the dates and that will probably get added to the events page as well. Oh, Melanie says Lori's not doing her live today, so she's going to be here the whole time. How cool is that? We get all 3 hours with her. Who else? Jody says, cool, come sit up front with me. Jody is always first in the house. She is such an encourager. She has been such a blessing to me in this channel. Andrea, I'm going to bed after our quilting bee. I did not go to bed last night. I finished the quilt I was working on and then started pressing and starching fabric, then cutting. Tell you what you get into, once you get into it, it's just, you want to just keep that routine going, don't you? Susan says, I'm from South Texas, where you go out in the afternoon and you just melt. Amen to that. Hey, sweet granny from Western PA. I bet you're starting to have some really nice weather. You're probably what, about still 4 weeks out from really fall and all that, all those beautiful colors and all those changes and that. Nothing prettier than Virginia and all that East Coast when the leaves start to change. Interesting enough, right? I lived in Blacksburg, Christiansburg for almost 10 years over in Virginia. You know, of course, at that point, I had to become a Hokie. We actually had season football tickets. That's when Beamer was head coach and actually had a real program running. Michael Vick was the quarterback, and they were getting in a lot of big bowls and different things. But I remember when I first moved there, trying to understand number one, who would name their mascot a Hokie, which means nothing, but apparently it's a muscled up turkey. And then, better yet, at the ball games, they sell grilled roasted turkey legs. So you eat your own mascot at your ball game. And then maroon and orange as school colors. I mean, it was just like, okay, could you all just, it just kept going downhill. Anyways, now I'm a huge Hokie fan. I have a lot of maroon and orange. I love wearing my Hokie stuff out. Love when I walk through the outlets or something and I hear someone yell, go Hokies. It's just, it really is a cool community. At the end of the day, I did not go to Virginia Tech. I did teach at Virginia Tech for 3 years. Taught business classes and that. So They paid me to kind of become a hokey, which was even better. But I do have a lot of fond memories. Spent a lot of time there with my son at football games and all of that, and have a big place in my heart for Virginia Tech. I was also teaching at Virginia Tech when they had their massacre on campus, which is just so sad. And the fact that we're still having them just is even more sad. All right, what else? Joyce says, I sell that idea to you for the key to your Tula closet. Oh, Miss Joy, I have to take a picture one day and show you the 2 drawers of Tula that I have. Because, and the sad part is that whole new line that she's coming out in October. I already ordered a whole bunch of that. And then I didn't think, then I realized I didn't order other pieces of it. So I have 2 separate orders of Tula coming in October, just to make sure that I didn't miss out on any of it. What I have not done is any of Tula's patterns. They are just way too advanced and complicated for anything that I want to get into. Just not, they just don't excite me. I love her fabric, love the material in that, but not going to jump into some of the piecing and stuff she wants in her patterns. Danielle said, I just bought that wreath pattern last week. There's something about that pattern. It's so simple, yet it's just a beautiful pattern. So again, I'm a fan of Villa Rosa for $2. It's interesting, right? So we talk about Tula's pattern. If you look at the butterfly, I think that's a $16, $18 pattern. So it's just, when I can get something that's as pretty as that, cute as that for $2, I am going to take advantage of it. Hey, Alex, welcome in. Thanks for being with us this morning on this Holiday Quilting Bee. It'll be interesting to see what you are working on. Miss Ingrid is here. Hey, Ingrid, thanks for being on with us this morning. Danielle says we got home late last night, so you are the first one on YouTube I am watching. I am very honored, Miss Danielle. You are such a sweetheart. She has been so great, so supportive. She has helped me technology-wise in a lot of ways. So it's kind of interesting. When I get stuck, Danielle's quick to always jump on a Zoom with me and kind of walk me through things. So I still have a lot to learn when it comes to technology. I am not a techno guy, but in the new studio, we should actually have a camera on me. We'll actually have a camera on stuff I'm piecing. And the plan is we will have a separate camera for Herbert back here so I can start using him when I do lives. I will have a camera at the cutting table and the ironing station. And I am hoping to have a camera that works over at the long arm. So you all can maybe see some of the long arming that we're doing. Hey, Sue. She says, thank you for the pattern that I won 2 weeks ago. I did get it. You are most welcome. And you might win something today. We've got giveaways every 30 minutes today. We'll see how that works out. Brian, Ingrid, Charlotte. Oh, Jody says you can go to QuiltCon in 27 in Atlanta. We could all visit Russ. That's a better possibility than Raleigh. Raleigh's a little bit more difficult to get to. It's just the trip across the country. By the time I try to get across a couple of times a year just to see the grandkids and that, to add a third trip for pleasure, because the problem is it's a full day to get there, especially with the time changes and that. So we'll see. I never say no, right? Because you just never know what's going to come up. Mr. Sean is here. I am very honored Mr. Sean's joining us. He says good day. He is an awesome guy. He is going to be on the channel in October. So I'm anxious to have Sean. I've never got to have him on my channel. I've been on his a couple of times, and he was a big help in encouraging me and helping me get started a couple of years ago. Ingrid says, ha ha ha, they eat their own mascot. Right. I don't know why. I just found that weird. And worse is I was actually on the keto diet. So it was great to go to the ball game and grab a big honking turkey leg. So it just made sense. But it was like, no. All right. See who else. I want to get caught up on chat so I can figure out what's going on. Alex says there's nothing wrong with 2 orders of Tula. I fully agree with you. That's why I went back. Ingrid likes the wreathed pattern. I do too. There was just something that caught. It's so simple, I think is what I like about it, but there's a lot of piecing to be done with it. I know I could have broken that down and done it a little bit differently, but I didn't want to convert the pattern and try to figure out what that would look like. Zaza's here. Welcome in, Miss Zaza. Thank you for being here. Um, Sean says he's lucky he's only 3 hours away. Yeah, I used to live down in Southern Virginia and actually flew in and out of Raleigh several times because for me, the local airport was so small, you always had to hop to Charlotte. I could actually go to Raleigh and jump on Southwest and usually get a direct flight where I needed to get to. So I've spent a lot of time in Raleigh. In fact, the only half Ironman that I ever done, because I was doing triathlons a few years ago and was very obsessed with it. So I do somewhat have an obsessive um, personality. It just moves from things to things. Now it's all about fabric, I guess. But the only half Ironman I did was in Raleigh, which was really cool. So you go out and swim in the lake. You have to swim 1.1 miles for the half, I think, is what it was. That was interesting because they neglected to tell us that they had frogmen in the water. So you jump in the water with about 400 other people, and every 5 minutes they're letting 400 more people in the lake. So, needless to say, they kick you in the head, all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. And then you look down and you see a guy watching you, just basically floating, standing in the water. Uh, with the whole scuba outfit and that on. Yeah, it just totally freaked me out. Then it was a 56-mile bike ride back into downtown Raleigh, and then 13-mile run in Raleigh, which was really cool because the first 3 miles were downhill, and you knew the next three were going to be uphill, and the course repeated itself. So you ended the last 3 miles of that half marathon uphill. But I got it. I got the trophy, and I am done. So I am. I say I've been there, done that, and I've got the little trophy to prove it. Sean says he likes triathlons too, but he's not a fan of the swim lane. Yeah, I'm not either. I am not a strong swimmer. I've never been a strong swimmer. I had coaches that really helped work with me, get me where I needed to be, but that was always if I could get through the swim. It was funny. My thought was if I could get through the swim, I knew I could make up time on the bike. I really was a good cyclist, and I could make up a lot of time on the bicycle. But that's the only way I got it done. All right, let's look at the fabrics that John picked for the falling pattern. So again, I just really fell in love with this. It's totally different than anything I've done in the past. I thought it was really cool. But I really did like the blue background. So I ended up getting this blue as part of it. I don't know why I'm getting a reflection today. You can tell I'm not used to being on in the morning. But then I found like some of the coolest fabrics, like this orange that just looks like fall to me, right? And all of this, believe it or not, for once came out of my stash. And I found this peach with the darker brown tones in it. I needed to separate my fabrics out, anyways. Then I found this rust. All of this was basically one, it may have been a fat quarter. I can't remember now. I think it was. Then I found this red that's really more of a deep burgundy to go with the other one, but a lot of orange in this collection. So that was just perfect. Look at this brown that's actually got brown leaves on it. I thought it was so cool. And then I found this one, and I really liked the colors around it because it's got the brown with that blues and reds and all that. I was like, wow, that's just amazing. And then this one is actually a fall leaf pattern. Well, how cool is that? That it's fall leaves, right? And this one. And then, of course, I had to find something that had purple in it. So this wine purple color is just perfect for me. And then I had one green that I ended up grabbing. And I actually only have one of those, so we must not need very much green. Right now, I've got that sorted everywhere. So let me get this put back together because I would like to do some sewing with you all this morning and start working on this pattern together. Oh, Melissa says the run is done. How awesome is that? So she must have had it earlier before we jumped on. Jody says, Melissa, did you run a mile for me? I don't think it works that way, Jody. Just saying. All right, so let me see. First thing I need to do. All right, so let's start working on some of this morning. There's two. Mm, I should have separated this out before we got started, but I'll be honest, I was tired last night. We had roast potatoes and carrots in there for dinner, which was amazing and awesome. So it's always nice on Sundays because I don't cook on Sundays. So it's nice that my partner takes care of the meals for that night. So that was pretty cool. And then we've been watching the series Supernatural. And so I think we're on season 5. And of course, it goes on and on and on for a while. So we'll see. But it's been fun and something different. Right, I've already got that color, that color. All right, let's see. Don't have these yet. All right, as soon as I get these sorted, then I can start sewing and piecing. And we'll try to get over to our first giveaway too. So we don't want to forget about that, right? Because that's the fun part. I love giving things away. See, I'm a good Christmas guy. I like giving things away for Christmas. Sorry, counting. I think I brought, yeah. Hey, do you all ever sort and count and then realize, okay, I've probably counted this 6 times now, and you go back and then count it again, anyways? I feel like I have counted these pieces so many times. It's like you've got enough and you got exactly what you need, but I'm still counting them to make sure because nothing more frustrating, right? When you get started with a pattern and realize, oh, I didn't cut enough. I'm positive I did. All right. I don't think I cut enough. How crazy is that going to be? Oh well, we'll still get done what we can get done today. No, it looks like I'm 4 pieces short. So that's okay. I have enough that I can get a majority of it done today. And the few pieces I have left, I actually have sitting over there. So maybe just needed to cut some more. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Danielle says, I'll be lurking for a bit. She's headed to pick up breakfast. I don't blame you. My partner just got up and goes, yeah, since you're going to be talking for the next few hours. I'm going to get up and have breakfast. I was like, yeah, 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 whatever. All right. So first thing I need to do is, all right, so let's go through and start sewing these. I will say one of the things that is interesting to me with Villa Rosa is all of their designs seem to be so large. And I think that's the one thing that sometimes it's like, do I really want something that large? And so when I was cutting these out, I realized how big this pattern was going to be. And that's okay. I mean, it's funny because my partner goes, um, why aren't you stitching bigger pieces, making larger quilts? I'm like, because larger quilts are harder to bind and kind of get on your nerves at times. But um, it is what it is. I think I've got enough oil down in him today. I don't need to put more oil in there. I haven't even turned my machine on, guys. That's how early it still is here. Let's move coffee so I don't make a mess. Let's see if we can get going. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so get the first one put together. I don't know what it is about the blue that was in this pattern. I actually took the card to the store to pick out, to try to find that blue. It just really kind of resonated with me for some reason. And I thought, how cool is that going to look and be? And I just like the idea of the fall leaves. I will say I am not following the pattern when it comes to putting the stems on. I have decided that my stems will probably be done out of rickrack. So I thought that would be a little bit more interesting to me. And so that is the plan. So look, we actually have started and we have the first one going and we're just 30 minutes into the live. So I've actually got one going. I did get my ironing board moved over so I could do that today, and get that going as well. So what I have not done is logged into Nightbot. So let me see if we can get Nightbot going so we can do our first giveaway this morning. Give me 1 second. Um, there it is. All right. So Jody says, where's Russ and Steven, the sleepyheads, right? Zaza says, Nikki, I'd love to see a photo of your house too. Nikki says, we rode trails here, but the Scotland ride looks amazing. I don't think my back will ever be right. I heard it many times, but the car accident was the worst. Oh, I just can't imagine. I cannot imagine dealing with back pain. Alex says, my daughter loves that show, Jaden. And she has the anti-possession tattoo as matching tattoos, right? I've actually thought about that, and I'm not a tattoo person. Do not want tattoos, but then I thought, how cool would it be to have that tattoo? Danielle says it's illegal to spill coffee. Amen to that, girlfriend. Um, Spinal issues are never ending. A lot of times after injury. Hope you feel better soon, Nikki. Yes, Nikki, we hope you all feel better. Mary says, remember you're live. I appreciate you being here, Mary. Thanks for joining. Brian says, to the keyboard, everyone. All right, so first up this morning, um, exclamation point flag, FLAG, will get you entered. I am actually giving away the Villa Rosa 12 Quilts of Valor. So I bought a few extra sets. I thought this was really cool. It comes with 12 different patterns, all of these of which are approved by the Quilts of Valor because they have apparently very stringent guidelines on sizing and all that qualify. This one has the celebration pattern, grand prize, darling spirit, farmhouse blue, pride, honor, gallant, Fernanda, salute, star rail, stars and stripes, and yesterdays. And most of these patterns have been released in under their own name in different colors and then re-released as qualifiers for the Quilt of Valor. So exclamation point flag, FLAG, will get you the first one. If you are a international viewer, we will end up doing a $10 gift card. So it's easy enough and simple enough to mail out internationally, like just one pattern card in that when we give those away. But I don't want to get into some of the other bigger things in that. So if you're international, we will end up doing a gift card for you as your prize. So exclamation point flag will get you entered into the first drawing today. So how awesome is that? I need to call Villa Rosa and go, look, guys, you need to help sponsor me sometimes. I give a lot of your patterns away. I was actually looking at Cole's Christmas tree pattern in that this morning and saw how many folks have joined his Facebook group. And I hope that is a reflection of some of you watching my channel. Like I said, Cole's going to be on September 21st. He is a super guy, and I hope that you all have jumped over to look at his patterns and the things that he is doing. So let's go one. I'm going to do QOV. Because I have learned doing this now that it helps if I write down who wins what so I can watch. All right. Exclamation point flag will get you entered into the first drawing, and we will, in about 60 seconds, draw our first winner. So we will see how that goes. Jody says that's a cool price. Thank you, Jody. I try to change it up, right, every time from Quilting Bee to Quilting Bee. There's Joyce. Hi, I just saw that you were on and wanted to thank you for my pattern. I got it last week. Thank you. You are most welcome, Miss Joyce. I appreciate you being part of the YouTube family and joining me on here. Regina's in the house. Hey, Regina, welcome in. Oh, Balloona said I couldn't get the Christmas tree pattern to download. He hopefully will fix that today. It's not expiring. The owl pattern, I think he had closed out yesterday, but we'll see. All right, drum roll. So let's see who wins. All right. Let's see if Nightbot can make this work this morning for me. Julie Kuhn is the winner. So congrats, Miss Julie. So Julie, if you will send me an email over at John, John, at guyscraft2, I will get these in the mail hopefully this week. I won't promise that it'll be tomorrow, but I will get these out this week for you all. So congrats and thank you for being on with us this morning. Melissa says, can't wait to start sewing. I did the download the owl and the Christmas tree this morning. Oh, so Melissa was able to download the Christmas tree this morning. So it must be working again. So you may want to try later today to see if you can get that to download as well. Kind of cool. So if you've not seen the pattern, I can show it to you, I think, real quick, or did I move it? I may have already moved it to another spot. Yeah, sorry, I've already moved it. I did get this one pieced together last night. This is the one that I'm giving to my gardening friend. And I was really excited to get that pieced and put together. I think that's going to be really cool. And I think what I want to do is I think I'm going to put a like a 1.5 inch black border around this and then go back and maybe use this gardening fabric because I have enough of it and do maybe like a 3 inch border to finish it out. Um, Jiffy Quick, I think, is the pattern, is the book I got this from out of Donna and Fran's 3 yard quilts. And I know it does call for just one border, but I think it needs like a black border. And just like that 1.5 inches, it doesn't need a huge one to kind of separate somewhat busy in the center to get it over to the um, bigger border. So I think that is what I'm planning to do. You know, it's funny. I like to make patterns mine, I guess. So anytime I start playing with patterns, I quickly realize, oh, I should do it this way. Or if they had done this, this would have really been cool. So that's a nice thing. People can say, what pattern is that? And then they go, well, I got that pattern and it looks nothing like what you ended up with. And it's like, yeah, it's because John has to, I don't know. I feel like I always need to make it mine for some reason. And I always know a little bit better than the author. I'm trying to do better about that sometimes because I do feel like I'm always changing up the patterns and that. And it's like, you don't always have to change them, but I do sometimes. Andrea says, awesome, that's cute. Brian, very nice. Thank you so much, Brian. Sweet Brainy, you can download the pattern over on Cole's website, and it is Cole's, Coles, quilting.com. I will pop his channel in the chat. Bye, Zaza. Um, and if you go over to his YouTube page here, it's got a link, obviously, to his website. The pattern is free, and it is a beautiful, fun pattern. It is paper piecing, so if you've not done paper piecing or don't like paper piecing, you're not going to like it. I have just completed my first paper piecing project, and Danielle had even said she would help and teach me. I ended up getting through this first one with Cole without much issue. For me, it just requires a lot more thinking, and I'm going to need to spend some time thinking about how I do it. I did download the Christmas tree pattern. I absolutely want to do it. I think my goal will probably be to complete that for Christmas 26, because I don't know that I want to spend so much time paper piecing and still kind of learning this year, but we'll see. I really do like the pattern. I do need to go pick the fabrics out. I'm hoping that I have enough in my stash because once Joy sees how big the stash has grown, she's going to say, yeah, you don't belong going to a store at all. But yet then Joy will say, I'll go shopping with you sometime. So we'll see. But I do need to start working out of my stash a little bit more because I just don't have room for much more, right? That's why we're moving the YouTube studio into a bigger room, because I am trying to get it where I don't have to change rooms. That's part of the problem. Is I'm all over the house. And so I end up running room to room to room all the time. It's like that just doesn't make sense. See, I think these fabrics are just going to be so cool with that blue. Just really liking how these are turning out. All right. Thanks, Jordy. I thought so too. I really, because I kept thinking, well, maybe I'll do a navy border instead of, or do a green border because it's garden. And then I thought, you know what? I think it just needs something simple like a black border because there is black in the garden fabric, right, for the tools and the hat and a few things. And it's like, and it needs to be a small border. It can't be a big over, um, border that takes over. So I think that's going to be the plan. We will see if we can get that done. If I can get these pieces put together this morning, I will be able to do some pressing and then we can start sewing out some of the blocks, which would be really, really cool. Even more fun, right? I do need to work on probably finding a moderator to help on days like this as far as chatting and those things. I feel like I'm back and forth. So if I seem a little scattered, it's just because I'm trying to make sure that I'm looking at several things going on at one time. And I appreciate that you all always hang in there with me. Thanks, Miss Becky. Thanks, Nikki. Landa's here. Good morning. Thank you, Miss Rogers, for being, or Landa, thanks for being here. I appreciate that. I put Cole's website in there so you all could see it. She says, the Allen Christmas tree is so cool. Thank you for passing the information. You are most welcome. If you all join their Facebook page and that, if you just let Cole know that you found him through me, I would appreciate that. Oh, Belinda says, still can't get it. Nothing happens when I click the button. Huh. I wonder. Dirty says, nice contrast in fabrics. Thank you. Oh, and he does have patterns in his Facebook group as well. His Facebook page is private. You can get to it easily enough, and you just have to ask to join the Facebook page. He has his restricted, and that's only to keep spammers and that out. So so it may take a little time before you get in his Facebook page, just depending on when he's at the computer to just go in and approve things. Okay. All right, we're not going to play this morning because we got a long day of sewing. So Jake needs to start behaving quickly. Interesting enough, this morning I was walking through the long arm room, stepped on something. Fortunately, it was flat, and when I looked down, it was a needle. So I'm not sure how we missed the needle. I don't know what you all do. I keep, oh, I don't have it. I keep a jar, actually an old hint water jar with black X's all over it to keep my needles in. And somehow we must have changed the needle in the long arm and didn't make it into the jar. But fortunately for me, I did not actually step on it where it punctured anything because that would not have been fun at 6 a.m. this morning. Tell you what, we always have a lot of stuff to keep up with, right? Between um, our needles, right? Our threads and all that kind of stuff. I actually got the thread shelves. My partner put up the thread shelves yesterday, so I was able to get all my threads out. And it's amazing to me. Obviously, it's very clear I like glide thread. I have done everything. I have tried to be an Aurifil boy. I don't like Aurifil. I think it's too linty. It drives me nuts. So I'm back using polyester thread because it's what I like. Even though the quilt police did tell me that if you're sewing cotton fabric and piecing, you're not allowed to use polyester thread. It has to be cotton thread. I figure once I get it done, if the quilting place can figure out that I use polyester thread, then more power to them. And if so, then that gives them something to complain about, and maybe leaving somebody else alone. But I think part of that is from owning our embroidery business a few years ago, and we used Madeira was our go-to thread. Our machines loved Madeira, and we did everything with poly thread then as well. So it just surprises me how much lint and that you get from some of the others. So I'm not an Aurifil guy. I'm not going to be an Aurifil guy. I have plenty of it. Interesting enough, when I first started, I had also bought a lot of Isacord. So I have a ton of Isacord. I have a ton of Glide. And that gets back to the question I was asking earlier about, do you all piece with just one color? I tend to use this Cool Gray by um, Glide. I really like it. It's Cool Gray 3. It seems to be a good neutral color for me. I've also got a linen from Glide that I use as well. But between the two, it seems to really kind of be my go-to, which is interesting because now I have shelves full of colored thread, and I have as much as I think I bet you I easily have 20 spools of red because red is just not red. There's so many shades and versions of red, and I looked, and like every one of them is a different number, and yet about 8 or 10 of them are open because I've used them for different projects. And a lot of that thread too is for I bought so much because I use it for the embroidery projects. So you saw I got the one done. I've got all those scenes, the window pane scenes. I want to get those done. I need to get those cut and then get the borders and then put on those and get that finished. I was so happy with the way the other Christmas one came out from Santa's Workshop. I think that is just beautiful. And who knows, I may enter that actually in the quilt show next year. That remains to be seen. I wouldn't mind putting at least one quilt in, but um, we'll just have to see. I don't know if I'm really ready to be judged or not. And I do this because I enjoy it. I also find it to be a good stress reliever for me. It's a way for me to focus and look at things. It's interesting. Getting to the machine can sometimes be stressful because I get frustrated because I just want to sit down and sew. And yet, um, seems like everything else gets in the way of that. But then once I get here where I can just get into a rhythm and sew, just makes things so much easier. All right. Who else? Mom and Pop Quilt Shop is here. She says, hello, all you cool kids at Guys Craft too. I am so thrilled to have you on. I was watching um, Mom Saturday, I think it was. She is just a hoot. If you have not seen Mom and Pop's Quilt Shop, if you have not gone over to their channel, you need to because they absolutely, she makes me laugh. She is just such a fun, lighthearted person. You just never know what's going to happen on any of their lives. Alex says, I love using polyester thread. I do too. It's just, I think it's what you get used to. Oh, Pug Mama's here too. Welcome in, Pug Mama. Thanks for joining today. Stitcher says polyester thread is much stronger and quilts are too much work. Amen to that. I tell you what, a lot more goes into this than I ever thought. Alex says I need to buy more thread so I can do more embroidery. I understand that. I am shocked at how it's funny. Russ sent me a picture the other day where he finished a spool of thread and actually caught it as it was going through and videoed it, which was kind of cool. But it's funny because we go through bobbins so fast it seems like, but yet finishing a real spool of thread sometimes seems like the spools just last forever and ever. But then at the end of the day, it's like, oh, you put it on the embroidery machine, and man, that embroidery machine can certainly make a spool of thread go away very quickly. So just too crazy. Landa says Glide is awesome for quilting. Racinia is a good cotton for piecing. Huh, I have not used that. I will have to see. Balloonist says I use Wonderfill. It's a little less linty than Aurafill. And actually I'm a Wonderfill distributor. I'm really low on Wonderfill right now, but I did buy and got into some of the Wonderfills because they do offer a nice variety. The problem is now they're a Canadian company, right? So we have to figure out what the prices and all that look like again. Alex says I look at it this way, our quilts should last longer and won't deteriorate, right? Orlando says she doesn't have that much excess with Aurafill. I don't know. It just seems more, and sadly, this poor Jake really needs to be cleaned, and I've just kind of um, cheapened out on cleaning him because he's actually getting a spa day because when the um, technician comes to break down the long arm and move it into the other room and do all that, I actually have him cleaning and working on Jake as well. So I thought, I might as well just wait and let him do it. So it's probably not fair to Jake, but it's nice that he comes to the house. He'll work on the machines at the house. I don't have to worry about downtime and losing the machine for a couple of weeks as I gets transported all the way around. Jake is just, I don't even know if Jake's quite a year old. Can't remember now when I bought it. I bought him, but I do. He's definitely the one that I enjoy piecing on the most. I really want to start using my more advanced Tupi. We'll figure that out. I just haven't gotten there. Jody says, John, do you embroider projects for people, companies, etc., outside of yourself? I have not started doing that again. Obviously, I have the 10 needle, so I would be able to do that. Believe it or not, we still have customers from when we had our commercial business that we used to that we still run stuff from. There's a couple of it's actually like a local oil company that every time they hire new folks, they'll call and ask for so many shirts and that again. And Lord, we've done their embroidery probably for about 20 years now, it seems like. So I will and I can. It's just to be honest, it just grows so fast and gets away from me. And with working full time, it's been hard to think about. It'd be nice to have that extra income, but at the same time, it's like, can I really keep up with that? And we used to do a lot of Christmas. Did a lot of grandma shirts, right, with little sayings with all the grandkids and that, and did a lot for local high schools when we had our business because the local high school seemed to always get forgotten about. And so did a lot of work for them and a lot of the clubs at the high school. So the easy answer is, Jordy, we probably will at some point. We just haven't thought about that or put that together at this point. Maybe now that the room's getting organized and things are kind of getting together, that's a real possibility, especially because my partner so much supports me in doing this. And that makes all the difference too, that he's willing to jump in and help. And um, that makes just a big difference for all of us. All right. What else? Alex says, I'm working on a faux leather pencil case for Jaden since my red, white, and blue faux leather came in and I wanted to see how it will sew before I start the faux leather quilt. Oh, that's going to be interesting. I've not seen a faux leather quilt. So let me Google that later. I have not worked with any of that faux leather stuff. And that AccuQuilt, just came out with a new dye, of course. And theirs is on it makes a wallet. So needless to say, I did not purchase that particular die. So it's one of the few I don't have probably. But at the same time, it was it just was an interesting choice for me. I wondered why they would have picked that of all things to have gone after. So I do have. I want to make us Christmas stockings. My partner and I need Christmas stockings, so I will. I do need to get that put together. Mama Jan's going to help show me how to use the die. I think I have the die. I know about the small one. I think I have the large one. And that's actually one of the projects that we're going to do for Christmas in July next year at our retreat. And so using a lot of the dies at that retreat. But I want to make a tree skirt. I need to get a tree skirt done. I want to make a couple of stockings for us, and we'll embroider, our names and things on them. What else? Mama Jan's been doing the kitchen towels, and she's got those. She gave us a really cute one um, for something that we had her over for. So I do need to learn how to do that. I have not worked with that yet, but I will. And I think that will be cool. But I don't know. I thought the wallet was an interesting choice. I mean, um, you do have to give AccuQuilt credit. They are trying to really kind of like diversify. You've got Chris that did the trucker's hat. Then they also came out with the bucket hat about the same time. Um, I think they came out with some type of little snazzy like makeup case bag or something, zippered bag. I really like looking at Juju, designs by Juju, and some of those where it's all in the hoop work. That probably would work better for me. I have not done a zipper yet, guys. Can you believe I have not done a zipper? How crazy is that? Katrina's here. Welcome in, Katrina. All right. Alex says there's just so much cost and all the supplies you need, but who knows, maybe one day. Yes, I will tell you, we used to have a wholesale Madeira account and actually had a wholesale Brother supply account. Brother was one of the better um, wholesale discounts I had back in the day. And I tell you what, I mean, you just have to have room full of thread and um, backing, right? So either tearaway or cutaway backing in there for the embroidery business. And it was just surprising how much of that stuff you just go through. It was like, and then the worst thing is if you're running like a red, I think I used to buy a dozen spools of red at a time. Because if you're in the middle of a job and all of a sudden you run out of thread and realize, oh, you don't have a backup, that's a problem. All right, let's do another giveaway. What is next? I did try to put some variety together. So I have, it's called the By My Side bag. It's a keepsake quick kit. Comes with 5 back quarters, a yard of double folded fusible fleece, a yard of medium weight fusible interfacing, and matching thread not included. So this is called the By My Side Purple Paisley Quick Kit. And so, of course, I'm a big fan of purple. And so we are going to give that away this morning. So let me get over to Nightbot and update Nightbot into the next one. I will say, if you're an international player, right, we will do a $10 gift card from Amazon versus trying to figure out how to ship this overseas. So international folks, you will get a gift card instead if you win. And if you've already won, if you would just give others an opportunity for this one. So if you would enter exclamation point tote, TOTE, And we will give this tote bag by my side bag away. Let me write that down so I don't forget. But that's the fun part of being here all day, right? Is so you show up and you may actually just walk away with something. You just never know. So exclamation point tote, Tote. Been watching some of the giveaways on some of the other channels. Some of them have been just crazy. I like trying to think who I watched the other day. They do numbers, and so you pick a number. I know Joydy was on there with me, and I thought that was really interesting. Whoever first one to pick the right number between 1 and 100, I think, was what they did. And I thought, well, that was an interesting way to do a giveaway. Look at this blue and orange. How cool is that? It is just really coming out really cool. All right. Melanie says, Jody, you're still wearing your crown, meadow yellow. How cool is that? Does Jody have a crown? Jody is always on. She is such a soft square. She's the bingo balls, and you have to guess the night. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I just found their channel not too long ago. So soft squares, they do some very interesting things in that. So I've been a lot more stalking, lurking on YouTube than I had been. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's go over and pick a winner. All right, here we go. Regina Casimir is our winner. So, Miss Regina, if you will send me an email at john@guyscraft2, just put tote in the subject for me. So that'll help remind me. But I will get that out in the mail for you this week. Hopefully, I'll get it all mailed out tomorrow just because I have several Etsy orders that came in over the holidays. And obviously, with the holiday, we haven't been able to ship those out. And I do typically ship everything just postal service, just so you know. The post office is pretty good to me, and they actually pick up here at the house, which makes it much easier. So, congrats, Miss Regina. Just email me at john, at guyscraft2.com, and we will get that out to you. I knew I was out of there. All right, come on, Jake. I want you to behave better than this today. So those that are working on the falling quilt, how are you doing? Are you getting your pieces put together? I definitely don't see me getting done with this today, but really anxious. Like I said, I've got 3 quilts. I have 3 Halloween quilts hanging up in the new YouTube studio. I also have 3 more in the closet hanging up that I need my partner to get on the long arm, which I don't hear the long arm this morning, so he's not long arming so far today. And then I don't have as many fall. It's just interesting. For some reason, I don't do as many fall, so I need to. Oh, Joey says she missed. She's been outside. That's all good. We've got 4 more drawings coming this morning. So, because it's just really obvious that I'm a fall or Halloween guy, and I did not realize how much I mean, like I said, I've got a dozen kits, right? I just didn't realize how much I had invested in Halloween, and I didn't realize how many people just are not a big fan of Halloween, which is fine too, right? I uh, I like the fun Halloween. I'm not into the spooky, scary Halloween. That doesn't appeal to me. But I do enjoy Halloween. Of course, here living in a retirement community, we don't have trick or treaters or any of that, but we do the witches ride, which is just absolutely hilarious. So, and yes, of course, I own a golf cart because I live in a retirement community, right? You have to have a golf cart if you live in a retirement community. So, I really bought the golf cart to go up to the rec centers and that. I like using the golf cart when we go swimming and things like that. So then I don't have to worry about being wet, nasty, or whatever, and getting back in the car. But anyways, I have the golf cart for to go to this pool and things like that. But for October, it'll be coming up. I have not seen the date because I need to look at it. Usually, I am at work and I try to get home like in the middle of it. So I really need to try not to let that happen this year. But they do the witches ride, and all these crazy women dress up as witches and decorate their golf carts. And literally, they make this big, huge parade path. Our local posse shuts down parts of the roads and all that for them. They actually, I think, disperse from the rec center right close to my house. But people line the streets to watch these folks ride by. They deck out their golf carts. They dress in elaborate witch costumes. And last year, I think we had over 200 golf carts in that parade. So, I mean, folks take it very seriously. It's interesting. We don't do anything like that for Christmas, right? We don't have our own little Christmas parade or anything like that. But we do for Halloween. And it is just amazing to watch these folks ride by and to see how much work they have put into their golf carts and that. I think there are prizes and recognitions that they get. But it is just something fun and cool. Brian goes, "Oh my god, I love that," which is right. I'll try to make sure maybe this year I'll get some pics and at least post it on the Facebook page or maybe try to throw it in one of the chats um, after it happens. But it'll be close to Halloween that they do it. They've done it for years apparently, and I think actually the original Sun City does one as well. So you know, we mimicked a lot of things from the original Sun City just down the street. That was started back like in 1968, I think. And then after they used all the land and built out down there, they ended up coming out to this piece and starting another one. Right. My phone keeps blowing up, so let me just check. Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. All right. Sorry, guys. It's funny, my daughter almost always texts me during a live, and then she'll go, "Oh yeah, I forgot that you do that." I'm like, "Really?" The only time she texts me is during a live. So she's a good kid. Very much enjoy and appreciate her. I have such a small family left. Um, Very interesting. So we all play our parts. But oh no, why did you keep doing that, John? Jake doesn't like when you start off. Um, Sometimes I start too far off and it throws him for a loop. Okay, at least I have learned to use the threader on the Juki. I'm not a Huge fan. My favorite threader is on my Viking 2, my Epic 2. I love that threader. We'll say that. Viking did do everything right on that. Uh, Gene says, I would love it if you could video for it. I will, I'll see. I wouldn't be surprised that there's actually a YouTube video out there somewhere, but I will definitely do something this year for you all. It's just such a fun time, right? And it's fun to live in a community where people are just people again. And granted, I live around a lot of entitled seniors that think because they've got node that the stop signs don't mean anything to them. They don't apply, um, and some are just rude because that's just the way people are nowadays. But for the most part, I feel like I live in Mayberry. Everybody gets along. The street I live on is just amazing. I have probably the best neighbors that I could possibly have. We all watch out for one another. We have dinners together a few times a year. Yet we don't invade each other's space either, right? So we get along, we all have fun together, and then yet at the end of the day, we all still have our own separate lives that we lead. So, but we watch out for each other, right? We watch for our properties and things that go on. And, with me traveling and doing different things, it's good to know that I've got someone that kind of glances over and sees what's going on at my house. Especially as UPS and FedEx and Amazon seem to make frequent trips here. So it's good. But I also have cameras everywhere on my house too. 'Cause I'm just one of those type of people. In today's world, you gotta watch out for yourself and take care of yourself, right? So you just never know. Jordy says, I love that YouTube videos where all those witches dress up and dance in a parade somewhere. I have not seen that. I may have to look and see what is out there. Oh, Danielle said, I missed my sewing room. I am so happy to finally be back in it. I bet, girl. Tell you what, you have had so much the last few weeks. It's just been crazy. So I hope you're feeling 100% again. And I know you've been dealing with some other things as well. But Danielle and I will catch up next week, her and the puppies. So we'll have lots to chat about and lots to share. It is hard to believe, though. I got to go back to work tomorrow. It is what it is. I can't believe I cut a few pieces short. It's fine. I can get the die back out and cut these, but oh my goodness, guys. It is the worst part for me sometimes counting and keeping up with everything. And I had it even written down. I knew exactly what I needed to cut and how many I needed to put together. Yet I didn't get it done. So we'll see. All right. Mama Jan says the witch is right. It's about donating for charity. It's grown a super huge event. It is. I mean, it is probably one of the biggest events we have. In DC, Brian says they have the high heel race. I used to go when I lived in the city. I love any event where adults channel their inner child, right? See, that's me. I really miss Toys R Us because I was a Toys R Us child, meaning I don't want to grow up. I never did want to grow up. Even my children will tell you I, I was the bigger kid at home than they were. And that's just the way it is, right? I enjoy life and I plan to do so. Um, Life is too short. My brother, not being that much older than me, who just passed away, of ALS, it's just like it's just really a wake up call. And it's like, we spend so much time chasing the almighty dollar and putting things together. It's like, you know, is it really worth it in the end? He had saved all that money for his retirement and what he had planned, and he didn't really get to enjoy any of it, and it's just so sad. Jody says I should decorate my golf cart as well. I haven't. I'll be honest. And usually it's because I'm at work. Because they do have warlocks that end up, showing up for the event and that. Even if we just set ours on the driveway, I have just never done that because I'm usually not here. It seems like the day that they always pick, I have to be at work. But it is a fun event. It is really cool. Interesting enough, I don't even decorate my golf cart for Christmas. And you know how I go all out for the holidays and that, but I have just never done that for some reason. I don't know why. Um, no real reason. I just haven't done it yet. Hey, I am almost done with piecing what I did cut, so I can actually start building out some of the blocks, but we'll have to iron first before we get there. But I am kind of excited about this. This is a much different um, pattern than I have worked on it in the past. Again, like I said, I am doing the stems of the trees a little bit different. I'm not going to follow their direction. I think I want to do the rick rack. So that definitely is not going to happen today on the live because I have not done that much with rick rack. In fact, the first time that I used rick rack was with Mama Jan, and she helped me with Duck Duck Goose and making the goose outfits. Which now I need to get back and make more because poor Duck Duck doesn't have a Halloween outfit, not really a fall outfit, and definitely no Thanksgiving or Christmas. Wow, that got really cold. Not so much into cold coffee. I definitely like piping hot coffee. But coffee is all the way across the other side of the house, so we will make do. I did bring water in. So I can have that. And I do need to get these pressed and ironed open. Yeah. So it's amazing how quick a quilt top can go together if you have everything pre-cut and set to go. I found Rob Appel. Of course, I like Rob and enjoy listening to him and his Scrappy Friday YouTubes and that. He's associated with Stitch in Heaven, and I got to meet him last year when I was down at Stitch in Heaven for their New Year's Eve retreat, which was kind of cool in that. But I actually found yet a second pattern. So I think I have three pre-cut patterns from him that, again, Joy, are sitting on the shelf just waiting to get to the sewing room. And I thought, okay, so it's funny. I'm over here cutting all these patterns, trying to get all this stuff done, and yet I've got all these others that are even pre-cut sitting. So I found one yesterday that I think is in the purples again, um, from Donna Jordan from Jordan Fabrics, and it's all pre-cut. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to just open that and get it pressed out and get it going. It's a log cabin design. And the last time I worked on a log cabin, I didn't do real well because I wasn't up to speed on the 1/4 inch seam allowance and all that kind of stuff. But I have a feeling I could do much better now. But what I find is I have so many projects. My mind just runs so fast that it's hard sometimes just to keep up. So it's like, get that one when I get to it. Yesterday, I started stacking projects, going, "Oh, I want to do this one next, and then I want to do this one." And I was like, "Okay, so now I've got 10 projects that I'm saying are next on the list." And it's like, "Okay, you can't do all 10 next on the list. You have to now resort that to decide what comes next." So I don't know. We'll see. But none of them were Halloween. Two of them were Christmas, and I decided one might be a good Christmas present. I did find out from my niece yesterday, because we typically talk on Sundays, that apparently my son and his girlfriend are coming for Thanksgiving or Christmas because her parents live in Arizona as well. And she wants to see her parents for one of the holidays, which means then they come to see me as well. Interesting enough, of course, I haven't heard from my son yet. But so he'll be here for one of the holidays, and I thought, okay, if they're here for Christmas, it would be nice to open Christmas gifts with them. And I actually found I had bought another quilt kit, and it's all puppies, and it is so cute. And she's really into dogs, and so it's kind of like that kitten quilt kit, except it's all puppies. And so it was pretty adorable. So I thought, okay, I'll set that aside and try to make that for her for Christmas. And it's like, oh, but that means I got to hurry and get it. And it requires a lot of cutting. I don't know that I'm going to do it um, the way the instructions that came with it. It's basically a panel. It's a really cute panel, but the kit itself has like four borders. So again, it came with everything. I just need to cut it and then sew it. But um, when I started looking at it, it was like, to me, it's just complicated itself with all these borders and all different sizes and all that. And I thought, I don't know that I want to do it the way they want to do it. So now that requires me to sit down and think it through. I do like some of the Villa Rosa panels. And then, of course, Donna and Fran just came out with their own book on panels. And so I have not gotten that. It is on order, it just has not come in yet. So I'm anxious to kind of take a look at that. So I may end up doing my own thing out of this kit versus following what they thought it could be done. And all that's good, right? Because I did pay for it; it's mine, so do it however I want. I ended up with plenty of these left. All right, let's see if we can make a little room. I do need to turn on my iron so we can get those pressed open because, as if you know me, I have to have everything ironed. I don't know what it is, but I just like working um, from clean, fresh pressed things. And so I always do that. See what else is going on in here. Come on, guys. Melissa says we don't have to grow up. It's overrated. Amen to that. I had a shirt that says I'm done adulting. My daughter tells me that every so often. I'm like, yeah, you're the one that wanted to leave daddy and go out in the real world. Katrina says my son worked for Toys R Us until they closed. He said he'd be back there in a heartbeat if they ever reopened. Yeah, I think it's really sad that like kids growing up today don't even have a real toy store. But at the end of the day, kids don't play with toys like they used to. They everybody hands um, a cell phone, right? So they're online, they're playing. everything off the cell phone and that. And it's just not as much fun. My grandkids are getting into Candyland and Shoots and Ladders. So my daughter tries to have a game night at least once a week for them. Melissa says people think adults have to be serious all the time. It's sad. Yes, it is very sad. Ryan says, I'm backwards today. I have a table runner for Halloween and some placemats for Thanksgiving. So, of course, I'm working on some applique for a Christmas stocking. That makes sense. I mean, see, I get that. A lot of times for me, it's the mood I'm in, right? Do I want to work on that? Do I want to work on this? What's my mood say today? Especially when it comes to machine applique. I run a lot of those. I did the Stitches of Love, and I've got that whole Christmas collection. I still think I've got like 6 that need to be stitched out, but I run those on the Viking too because all of that's in the hoop stuff and it's all pre-cut, which makes it easier. But the gnomes that I bought from Stitch in Heaven, those actually require me to sit down and stitch them. So I do them on Herbert back here, and I've only gotten one done because it just takes so much concentration for me because I just haven't done that many. Hey, Judy, welcome. Thanks for being here with us this morning. Always fun to see you. Yeah, Jordy says, I never see kids playing in my neighborhood. Never. Just crazy. All right, it is the bottom of the hour. So we've been on an hour and a half. Let's see what we have for our next giveaway. Obviously, Christmas is coming, right? And I do love these patterns, so I had to go with another packet of 12 quilts of Christmas. I know I gave a couple of these away already, but I thought with Christmas coming in that, how cool is that? That wreath pattern is in there. The 2 gnomes are in there. This hot cocoa pattern is in there, and it is really cute. They actually have one called Baking Day, which is Gingerbread Man. I really like this Into the Trees too, and I want to work on that one. And I like the Mittens one. So again, I think this is one of the smartest things Villa Rosa did is put that collection together. Um, and so let me go over here and set up uh, um, the keyword. All right, so if you put exclamation point stocking, STOCKING, exclamation point stocking, you'll be entered. If you've already won, you've already won today, if you give someone else an opportunity, and if you're international again, we will be doing a $10 gift card. Um, All right. Wanted to write that down so maybe I can keep up, but I think that would be really cool. You know, the Villa Rosa patterns are reasonable enough, anyways, right? So it's kind of cool, but I appreciate now that they've kind of come out and they've only come out with the 2 packets because I looked because I thought, well, maybe we'll do something, do a couple of different ones, but they only have the one for Quilt of Valor and then this Christmas one. But hopefully, it's something we're looking at doing more of moving forward. Because in this collection, you've got the quilts, but you also have the one's called Dinner Party, so you get placemats, the color mittens. You have the stockings, the gloves as a table runner. There's another one called Homecoming, I think. Um, and it's actually done with a panel. Poinsettia is in here too, which is the one that Russ did, right? So I think it's really cool how they've put those together. And I do like that poinsettia. I have yet to do it. I did like the way Russ's turned out. Russ said he was hoping for a little bit more contrast, I think, than what he got. But I did think his turned out really well. So exclamation point stocking will get you entered, and then we will have a drawing. So let's give you about another 30 seconds to get your name in, and then I will draw a name. Hmm. Looks like I'm missing um, some to get done. All right, let's go over and see who wins today. Nightbot, who is going to be our winner? Mama J, Andrea, congrats. You are the winner. And if you would send me an email to John at Guyscraft 2, we will get that dropped in the mail and get that out to you. I appreciate each of you being here today. Melissa says, I do want the quilts of valor. I think it's nice when they put those together like that. I think that is really cool. All right. You are most welcome, Miss Andrea. I appreciate you being here. All right, so I am going to scoot over here and iron for just a few minutes and get these all pressed open, as it just makes better sense for me that way. But so what are you all doing this afternoon? Picnics, just hanging out, bouncing around YouTube. I don't know, like I know so many go live on Mondays. I don't know if a lot of folks are canceling their lives today, if more are doing just holiday stuff. We ended up, as you can tell, not going to the park home just because, number one, I didn't feel like fighting the holiday traffic, even though we had taken vacation on Friday. And then with me being sick and having COVID, it was like, yeah, I think I just want to spend a few days here and kind of recoup around the house before I worry about going back out. So that ended up being what we did. So I tell you what, I always have enough to keep me entertained somewhere. I say that, and then that's not true. We actually talked about going to the pool this weekend was one of the plans, and never made it to the pool so far, and probably not going to make it today. So, which is crazy because we keep saying, "Oh, we want to exercise more. We want to get in the water. We want to." Yet I have 5 pools in the community, and yet haven't been there. I don't know the last time we've been to the pool. We actually like the indoor pool better than the outdoor pool, especially this time of year. Um, Seems to make sense for us. I'll make sure I keep these separated by colors too. So then I can start thinking about how I pair these. Jody says the morning is flying by. I appreciate you saying that. I hope that I'm keeping people engaged and you don't feel bored with me. Susan says, I have to finish my taxes today. That's yucky. That's nasty. I am still working on my taxes for last year as well. Still, mine are done. I just need to get it filed. But I needed to reach out to another CPA to do some reviews and that because things didn't turn out the way I thought they would. So it's always, taxes are always complicated, aren't they? So. But I did buy my lottery tickets today. So who knows? Next time you see me, I may be a billionaire. If that's the case, we might have to just fly Joydy out so she can help go through the stash and that and see what we need to keep and what needs to go somewhere else so I can spend some of that billionaire money. So just never know. Stranger things have happened. You can't win if you don't play. And I do feel bad because, like, I would probably have to quit my job so fast it would make their head spin. And the end of the day, it's like, yeah, guys, I just don't need this. So I don't know what to tell you. So, and I would almost feel guilty. It's just the way I was raised, right? I have such a strong work ethic. It's just the way my daddy was. I mean, I remember growing up, my dad worked pretty much 6 days a week. It was rare that my father was home on a Saturday, and so dad always, was always working, and so it's just the way I was raised. He was such a good man. Miss having that type of influence in my life. Trina says, I'm cooking dinner at some point. Mike gets off at 2:30. I'm still working on the embroidery on my denim jacket. All right. And you're doing all that by hand. I bet that's going to be beautiful once you get it done. Judy says she's relaxing. I do have to run to the store and pick up hubby's insulin. I ain't having to run and get medicines and that. The other day, I had to go get I ended up taking Paxlovid for my COVID, just because I've got enough other stuff going on. And I had to go to Walgreens. I was the third car in the drive-through, and the first car was there as I was going around the building. By the time I got around the building to get in line, that car was still there, and that car was there for like another 12 minutes. I'm like, should be a timer, right? After so long, it's like you've got to get out and come in or something. I mean, it's just like really to pick up a prescription should not take that long. So I ended up at Walgreens for like 20 minutes, and I was the third car in line. It's like just crazy. Still better than getting out. I did not want to get out of the car and go in. I can tell you that. And now the fact that all the pharmacies close for lunch, it's like, are you kidding me? I wish I had enough when we had our small business. I could just hang something up and says, yeah, we're closed for the next 30 minutes. We don't want to be bothered. And I think all that started during COVID, it seemed like. Because I sure don't remember them ever closing pharmacies like that before. So I find that interesting. And I'm not saying they don't deserve a break, but I find it interesting that they all kind of started that model. They're all following the same model. So it doesn't matter. You go to CVS, Walgreens, or whoever, uh, they all they're all taking lunch breaks now. So it's like one saw it and thought that was a good idea, so they are all doing it, which makes it interesting. All right, this is gonna be fun putting some of these together. Oh, poor Brian says he's got to go to the grocery store. Yep, I don't do that anymore. I do. We have Fry's, which is part of the Kroger family, and I am actually a Boost member there. And then I have, of course, Walmart, and I'm a Walmart Plus member. So I have all of that delivered. Um, I try never to go to the grocery and that anymore. What I hate about Fry's is the fact that I love their homemade chicken salad and different things, and the only way to get that is you have to go in the store. There's certain things they just won't deliver, and if it requires them to go to the meat counter or the deli, they won't go over and get it for you. And I'm just like, why? Why? You're already in the store. You're shopping. Most of them are store employees, so it's like you let the employee go around and dip it for me. It's just crazy. So every now and then I'll break down and go in. I actually did go this week, um, in because there was something we forgot to get, and I didn't want to spend $35, so I ended up going into the store and probably spending $35 anyways, because I do too much impulse buying. It actually saves me money by having the groceries and that delivered, especially as I'm putting things in the cart and the prices start adding up. I'm like, yeah, I'm not spending that on groceries this week. Or if I spend that on groceries, then I won't have money left for fabric. We can always use more fabric, right? All right. Jordy says, I have a deal. I bet Joy would be so much fun. I can just imagine going to QuiltCon or somewhere with Miss Joy. I bet I would laugh all day long. I think that would really be cool. Oh, Andrea sent the email. Thank you, Miss Andrea. I will look for that this afternoon. Jody says, I used to run a big lottery pool with friends and family, and what a headache. Yeah, I will say, interesting enough, one of the companies I worked for about 20 years ago had a lottery pool, and it was actually our payroll manager that ran it. And she kept everything on a spreadsheet. She sent us tickets, twice a week when she bought them, and we all got copies and all this. And we ended up never winning much of anything, right? $20 here. I think the biggest we ever won was like $50. But it was funny because she would ping me every so often and she'd say, "You're almost out of money again." And I'd say, "That's fine." So I would usually run over to the credit union and get 50 or $100 and just give it to her. And she goes, like, you're the only one. She said, I've got others that bring in $10 a week and I never know if they're going to bring it. So do I include them? And yes, I can imagine what headaches you dealt with trying to run that. I actually buy, I know you'll be surprised, I actually buy mine online, which has really kind of made it nice because now I can just buy the ticket online. And then if I win, they automatically just put the money in my account because I never win that much, right? I win $3, $7. A couple of weeks ago, I actually did win $50. I was very excited. I think that's the biggest I've won in years. And I know the odds are against me, and that's okay. It goes to Arizona Education, supposedly. And I'm not taking money out of my kids' mouths buying lottery tickets, right? So I've got the discretionary money to spend on it, and if I don't buy one that week. So, but now that it's up to $1 billion, I can't help but think I got to have that, right? Arizona lottery is up to like 3 million, and it hardly ever gets above 1.5 million. So the fact that it's up to 3 million is pretty big. Um, See, Judy says she hates when you have to wait at the drive-through. I do too. It's just like, guys, it shouldn't be that difficult, right? I mean, you're just coming to pick up a prescription. So, I mean, because anymore, you don't even have to drop off prescriptions. Doctors, I don't even think write prescriptions anymore. And Katrina says they're completely understaffed. Amen to that. Everywhere you go, they're understaffed. I went to eat out the other day, and they were like, it'd be a 15-minute wait. And I'm like, really? And then when we got into the dining room, there was no one in the dining room. I mean, it was half empty. And I'm like, so you just don't have enough staff. So you're making us sit out there and wait because people will complain less if they're sitting out in the lobby waiting versus at their table. I'm like, I'm just the opposite. Just give me the seat at the table and give me a drink, and I don't care how long it takes. In fact, we've got friends that just got back in town. They're only going to be in town for a week. They invited us out. They want to get together next week one day. So we're going out Saturday night to what is new for us, a restaurant down the street. And one of the nice things is they take reservations. So we actually made reservations. So we can just show up, go in, and we made the reservations at 5:30 because they do have a happy hour every day of the week, including Saturday night. But happy hour stops at 6. So we made sure to go at 5:30 so we could be indulge ourselves in the happy hour should we choose to. I don't know if we will or not. One of the things I have learned is I like my money. I like spending it on fabric and on things. And I tell you what, when you go out and they charge you $15 for a glass of wine, it's like, really? Because that's more expensive than the bottle that I buy at home. So, because I still kind of like that $2 chuck. They actually make a red Zippendale, I think is what it is, at Trader Joe's. And I usually go and buy that by the case. So I really like it. One of my friends introduced me to that and then told me that they're going to stop making it or carrying it. And then all of a sudden they got it back in. So I guess they had enough repercussions from people about it that they ended up either stocking it again or Trader Joe's overall decided to keep making it. I do like my Trader Joe's when it comes to wine purchases. Our Fry's here in the community has a huge bar area. And so I never thought that I would go to the grocery store and sit in the bar while people were grocery shopping. And when we went to the store the other day, it was absolutely packed. I don't think there was a seat available. And I thought, well, obviously the seniors enjoy it. And Fry's made the right move putting it in the store. So it's just too funny um, what you see and what goes on in some of these grocery stores. I can't imagine sitting in a corporate office trying to convince someone that the smart move would be to open a bar around the cheese area in that and inside the grocery store. But they did make that work. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to finish ironing and pairing up my colors so I can actually start stitching some of these. I'm anxious to get the blocks put together and see what these are going to look like because I think this is really going to be cool. I hope you all liked the pattern and thought it was a good choice. I like to try to do something different. I really liked the Christmas one we did for I don't know if it was July 4th or not. Now I can't remember. It all runs together. It seems like we've had a lot of holiday quilting bees right here together all of a sudden. But I liked that table runner that we were able to get for free. And I got mine done. It's sitting over and ready to go. I think I'm actually going to gift that to my daughter for Christmas. I need to start sorting some of that stuff out and figure out what I want to give away versus what I want to keep. We'll see how that works as well. All right, let's catch up on some chat. Melissa says I need to come back east for QuiltCon. We'll see. Jody has a better chance of getting me in Atlanta, I think, than Raleigh next year. Jody says I'm a hoot, all right. I think you are. She said, I just checked my Powerball tickets. She won $12 with Powerball. You would think they would increase the prices when the lottery increases, right? I mean, is it Mega Millions now? It's like $5 a line. It's like, guys, come on. Alex, some states you can buy them online, some states you can't. Arizona happens to be a state where you can buy them online. I do think Trader Joe's has good wine. Alex says, I haven't tried the Red Zen. I would not have ever thought to buy it because I'm not a sweet wine person anyways, but it's not really overly sweet. And one of my friends actually had it at a party we went to, a dinner. And I was like, man, I really like that. And he goes, yeah, it's like $5 a bottle at Trader Joe's. Like, oh, because I am not a wine snob. I can tell you, I don't know anything about wine. I know what I like when I taste it, and I'm not a big dry person. I'm definitely not a sweet wine drinker. I can't handle overly sweet like a Moscato. Does not appeal to me at all. Um, Total Wine has one called Cardinal Red, and I'm not sure who makes it, but I know the only place I've been able to find it is at Total Wine, and it's about $8 or $9 a bottle. I think it may be more than that now. And I do really like that wine. I've bought that several times. So, but I just don't like going to Total Wine. It's just more chaotic to get in and out. It's further from the house. So, and, if I'm over there buying wine and fooling with that, then I'm not home sewing and doing other things I want to do. We did buy a new 3D printer. So my partner has a new 3D printer coming. So once we get me set up in my studio and that, we'll get his space put together as well. And then maybe we'll do an introduction of him in his space in what he's working on. So really wish he was working on the long arm today, but I have not heard that yet. And today he's not listening. So I can always tell when he's listening to my lives. All right, let me get this sorted out. Let's see if we can start making some quilt blocks. How are we doing on time, guys? This day gets away from me quick, um, sometimes. All right, so let's see. To assemble the quilt blocks, we need to build out this way. All right, so that's fine. We'll start with this one. Oh, I want to go with that. Maybe this. All right, and then I'll need one of these. All right, so let's see. We can get this first one put together. How cool is it when you finally get to see the pattern start coming to life, right? I tell you what, part of the problem too, like with QuiltCon and some of these places, is the hotel and that. It's not just the airline anymore that wants a fortune. The hotels have gotten ridiculous. And that's another thing that kind of turns me off, right? All right, so let's get this one. So, when I'm fortunate, right? They have it in Phoenix every 3 years, I hope. Um, I can save on that. I ended up, just like Road to California, I was looking at, okay, well, what are some of the classes they're offering? What's going to be down there? And when I started looking at them, it was like there was nothing where I said, wow, I really would like to um, take those classes. And so I ended up not. I haven't registered for anything because it just didn't seem like there was anything worth spending the money on for me. And so I don't plan to take classes while I am there. Let's see. I can't do that. I don't know what I did, but I am missing. I am missing one piece. So we'll have to figure out what I did. So I need that. I can go there. I need that. Uh-uh. Goes over there. So look how pretty this is going to be for leaves, right? I think that is going to be really cool. All right, and then let's do this row. It's going to be this with this. All right. All right. And then uh, All right, and then this one goes this way. Yeah. So I have one miscut, so I'll have to figure out what I did. All right, guys, top of the hour again. Again, how cool, right? I mean, you start butting these up to make those, to make that. These are going to be so cool. But again, these blocks are huge. These Villa Rosa just makes such big patterns sometimes. All right, do another giveaway. It's top of the hour. I think like 30 minutes is just flying by. Crazy to me. That's there. That's there. Where are we at? All right. Brian says the blue is really nice. Thanks. There was just something for some reason I really like that because I'm not always a fan of the pictures that Villa Rosa sometimes chooses, but I really did like that one. Thank you, Andrea. She says the instructions are not complete. I'm having to figure it out as I go. All right, that's me too. So thank you for validating that I haven't just sit here and lost my mind. Oh, Katrina says, yay, the stems are done. You're killing me. Time is flying. Look on the floor. Maybe sew two together. Is that the blue piece over there on the table under the sewing quilt hanging? Yes, I know what you're talking about. Actually, so yeah, there's more of these, but it's apparently the colors that I didn't cut enough of, I think, but I will get it figured out because what I didn't realize is that two of the colors have to be put together. So I have more over there. So I'll look at that later. All right, let me go. What's the next giveaway? Come on, get this up, John. Where are we? Giveaways. What are we giving away? Oh, we're giving away a fat quarter bundle. So we will do exclamation point fat. Exclamation point fat. So these are actually, this I actually had bought at the Fat Quarter shop. It's by Maureen Cracknell for Art Gallery Fabrics. It's called Open Heart Altogether Fat Quarter Bundle. And it is a really cute bundle. It is more springy um, versus going into the fall and winter, but this will get you ahead for next year, right? So it is a nice fat quarter bundle. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fat quarters in here. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different fat quarters. So I do think it's kind of fun. I bought this. I don't have any idea why, but probably got a really good price on it at some point, and I grabbed it thinking I might figure out something to do. And what I figured out to do with it was make it a prize on today's Holiday Quilting Bee. So if you would, exclamation point fat, and let's give that away. And I'm going to stop and take a drink. I'm getting really dehydrated this morning. And I am absolutely not a water drinker. So I'm really trying hard to take in more water. That is just something, it's just never been me. All right, so I did that, I did that. So it's this. But step 3 that I'm missing. Jody says Valentine's Day is right around the corner and 1 block down. Amen. All right, let's go over and see who's going to win. Again, international, you'll get a $10 gift card. And let's see who um, Nightbot selects for the fat quarter. All right, here we go. Susan, congratulations, Sue. Thank you for being on the channel today. Thanks for dropping in and being here. And if you'll just send me a email at johnguyscraft2.com, we will get that out to you this week. So congratulations, Sue. Hey, Sue Ellen Quilts. Hey, thanks for being here this morning. Thanks for dropping in and spending part of your holiday with me. I appreciate that. Oh, Melanie says, I've had to perform surgery on a quilt today. So what happened? Sounds like a seam ripper was involved for sure. All right, so let's go. We'll do this one. Did I already use this one? Make sure that we're using some different ones. All right, so I grab that one and let's do this one. I think would be cute together. So I will say now that I'm using the magic from Niagara, I do seem to enjoy piecing a whole lot better. It does seem like things don't wrap. I don't get as many strings and all that as I was before, but tell you what, it seems like I go through a lot of starch or sizing, I guess. See, I think this is going to be a really cute quilt when we get it done. But I will have to figure out the middle row. That's the problem. I don't have the right pieces according to the pattern for the middle row. So fortunately, I do have more fabric. So I will probably have to go back and cut a few pieces. I'm not sure what I did there, but that's okay. So now let's do this. And this. And this one goes that way. All right. And see, the sooner I get this one done and get this top put together, I can give it to my partner to put on the long arm because I definitely would like to have this one up for the fall. I will say I do like the fall colors. I always have been a fan of fall colors and will continue to be. Although I can't, I like the spring colors too. Spring is like life, right? And things are coming back to life. And so that's exciting. Um, but then I like Halloween colors too. And then I like my Christmas colors. So you know what? It's like all colors, I think, at the end of the day. All right, let's see. We'll do this one. Oh, and then we'll do this with it. Yeah, I think that'll be a good compliment. Yeah, I don't like the way that turned out. There's Carl. Hey, Carl, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Carl was one of the winners last year when I gave away the Tula thread set. And then he was nice enough saying, since I'm going to see you New Year's Eve, just bring it and save the postage, which I did. So it's always fun to be with Carl and around Carl. So thanks for dropping in and being here this morning. Look, see that? I really like the way that's pairing up, right? So I do like how these are turning out. Oh, now I realize what I did. All right, so now I've got to go back and make. All right, I've got these three. All right, so I've got this one, and this one. Now I'm figuring out the instructions here and what needs to happen. So let me go back and now I need to make this bottom match this one. So this one gets this piece, right? So that one's going to be there. And this one. And this one. All right. Now I've got this figured out. All right. Carl says, did I miss anything? You've missed several giveaways, but other than that, we have made world peace today, Carl. We have talked about everything. Melanie says it's too much to put in the chat, but just let's say Jack did come out to play today. Okay. Captain Stitches go check on her husband. Amen to that. Jody says I need to find a real sharp ripper that mine dulls so fast. I agree with you. I was really surprised at how I don't feel like I seam rip that much, but then at the end of the day, it's like um, it gets dull really quick. Or it's just because I use that glide thread and it's so strong that it just makes me think the rippers are dull. I don't think that's the case. Oh, so who's doing Solar Flare by Tula? I love some of her quilts in that, but I tell you what, when you look at some of her piecing and some of her quilts are expensive. Of course, I mean Art East is not like they're free either. I have not been brave enough yet to tackle a Tula quilt pattern. It definitely is one that will take a lot of skills. All right, so there's one set. This one needs this one, right? And and this piece. All right, now I figured out what I did wrong on this pattern. So this may actually go together quicker than I thought. So curious, I wonder how many of you have the Arrow chairs. So I bought the Arrow chairs thinking they were supposed to be so great. I do think they're a decent quality, a good quality. I'm not going to knock that, but I will tell you that my rump gets sore in them, especially after I've sewn a couple of hours. I was really surprised that by that. Considering the reviews and that and how much people love them, I would have thought that these were definitely like the go-to chair, but I'm finding out that's not necessarily the case. All right, and green. All right. This one and this one. Man, this goes together so much better when you kind of really read the instructions, right? That's always a big help. Tony says, someone just reminded me things wear out and 6 months is about the lifespan of a seam ripper. I had no idea. See, Alex is having the same issue. Hers are getting dull. How to use them. Trina says, I think it's a really part of reality, but I went and bought one anyways. Oh, look, Judy's been to the store and back. How cool is that? Well, Carl says he just got his solar flare to size, and Ingrid apparently is doing that one as well. Go look. I don't know that I remember what that looks like. Like I said, I've got a bunch of Tula coming in next month. So it's hard to believe, right? So we're in September. Today is September 1st. And then hard to believe that my Tula will soon be here. And gosh, it seems like I ordered that months ago, which I guess I did, but sure the quilt stores will be thrilled to be getting that in and getting that shipped out. All right. Now I got to go back and make this one. So if that one's that color, hmm, looks like I got to do some seam ripping because I don't think I still did this correct. All right. Let's put those over there. Right. And then I don't know, it's been I have to say I am very excited that for the most part my Christmas shopping is done. So now all I have to do is put together the um, get everything wrapped up and put together, which will be nice. But I actually start my Christmas shopping the day after. Um, really, I started the end of the year. So I buy Christmas all year long because that's just kind of the geek I am. I love Christmas. I love having it all year long together. And so I start pretty early, actually. We'll put these two together. So that one goes with that one. That goes with that. All right, I think I finally got this piece put together. Now I realize what I did. Now I got to cut these other ones or use the seam ripper. Take some of these apart. So that one goes with this one, goes with that. So, because I don't like to be stressed at the holidays. So it's easier for me to shop all year long and just pick up things and that for the grandkids and that. then I laugh because my daughter's like, uh, you said you were cutting back, and it's like you went overboard yet again this year. And I'm like, well, really, I didn't. Um, see, I put that one on wrong. Um, I really didn't mean to. What happened is I buy so early in the year that I forget, and so I keep thinking, oh, I haven't really got that much for the kids yet, or done that, and then I start unloading it out of the closet, and I'm like, oh, this is what she's talking about because it just keeps coming out of the closet, and it's like, oh no. So, but it is what it is. They're only young once, and I only get to spoil them a couple of times a year. And so it is what it is. I am Papa John to my grandkids. So that is kind of cool. So I've never been granddad, grandpa, none of that silly stuff. I have always been Papa John. So I do like that. All right, that goes like that. Yes, it does, which means that one's wrong too. Oh my God. Come on, guys. I am not concentrating. I must still be half asleep this morning. But that happens too, right? What I used to really enjoy doing for Christmas was wrapping because I love to wrap gifts and put them in. That one is right. So that one can go over. This one is correct now. So that can go over. This one and this one needs to be ripped out. Goodness. Um, I love to put bows and ribbons and all that on the gifts. I love just the way they look under the tree. Um, so all of that to me is just fun. Those people think I've lost my mind because I do spend a lot of time. But I think it's late October, early November, maybe the first week or two in November. Hallmark runs buy one get one free on their wrapping paper and all that, and their bows and all that goodie. So that ends up where I spend and get most of my Christmas supplies. Although I know Hallmark is not happy with me this year because I have really cut back on the ornaments. The ornaments have just gotten so expensive. So I do the granddaughter, grandson ornament for the two grandchildren. And then I do um, a daughter one for my daughter. And then I have bought the Barbie ornament for my granddaughter ever since she was born. So I do that, and then ended up doing Spider-Man for my grandson. So I know at any point none of them are going to be worth any money. I don't do it for the investment. I do it for what I think they'll appreciate and enjoy. And when they're 25, whatever, and having their own first Christmas tree, they will certainly have enough ornaments for the tree. So my daughter keeps reminding me that, she can only handle so many ornaments. And I say, yes, I understand. I have the same situation. So what you do is you put up more Christmas trees. So a few years ago, we put up 15 Christmas trees. Last year, I actually cut back and only had 5 Christmas trees last year. And the plan is this year, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So now that I'm turning the house around so much, I have to figure out what rooms get decorated, what rooms don't. Like in the new YouTube studio, we'll have all the decorations for, I'll have all the quilts hung up. So the quilts and that'll be there, but I don't know that I'm going to actually put a Christmas tree up. Although you all might like seeing a Christmas tree behind me when we do YouTube live. So I don't know. Still could happen. So we'll see how that works out. I can't believe I put every one of these on incorrectly. So it's okay. And what's funny is I was thinking I was being so careful to make sure that I got these correct, and I still ended up doing them wrong. I will say sometimes I think Villa Rosa patterns look so simple, and then when you get into starting putting them together, um, not so much. The flag one that we did with the stars and that, I had no idea if I could even accomplish sewing the block together because you had to turn all of that a certain way to do it. And it fell together so quickly. I was like, okay, really? So if I can do that, I can do about anything. Because one thing I have not done is Y seams. I have not done anything with a Y seam. Not sure that I understand a Y seam. Definitely not looking to learn one anytime soon. All right, let's go back to chat. Give me 1 second, guys. Get a drink. Wow, we're almost at the bottom of the hour again. I don't know how we're doing that. This day is going a lot faster than I thought because I thought I was making pretty good headway in getting these done, and now it doesn't seem to be that way. Carl says he likes the chair, but I need it to go higher. Yeah, I understand that. He says, Life outright, Brian. I already bought my Christmas presents, but I'm sure I'll think of something else. See, that's my problem is I buy up until Christmas. So that's how my kids end up with so much. They are adjustable. And I do actually have this one set a little bit higher, but it's just different. Not sure that I'm crazy. And I actually have one here and at the bar comb. See, Alex says I'm the grandparent. I have the right to spoil my grandkids. And my daughter knows that. Judy says you didn't have all your morning coffee. I didn't. I only had 2 cups before I came in here, and then I brought a third cup with me. And so I am used to much more coffee in the morning, let me tell you. Um, it does have a back to it, Joydy. It does have a small back to it. Carl says I use a drafting tool just because I use the same table to cut and sew on, and I use bed risers for my cabinet. Oh, that's interesting. I think it would be really interesting to be able to see how different people have set up and modified their workstations, right? Because we think we all have the best idea or whatever, yet we all work off something completely different, which is fine, right? Because at the end of the day, it's what functions and works for you. I actually bought like the mechanic stool from um, Harbor Freight because I had seen someone else on YouTube with it, and it's adjustable, but it doesn't have a back. But I kind of liked the way it's set. But then I also realized after sitting in it for about 45 minutes that it was very uncomfortable. It wasn't meant for endurance. So I ended up, we gave it away, I think, actually, because I gave it to my partner thinking he might use it in the laser, when he does lasering and that. And he was like, yeah, you can give that away because that chair is just not comfortable. I thought, how funny is that, right? Um, oh, Alex says when she can, she gets the Star Wars ornaments from Hallmark. Yeah, my niece collects all of those because her husband is huge into Star Wars. So they get all of those ornaments every year, which is a fortune because they come out with so many. Jody says something in that corner will be nice. We are going to fill the room. Have no fear. The room will end up very, very full. Um, More so than I probably realize. It was like, oh my gosh, guys, it's so funny when we started in the new YouTube studio, putting everything together and getting things going. I had all this room, and now that stuff's getting moved in there, it's like, oh my gosh, this room's not as big as I thought it was going to be. Of course, it may look bigger if I quit spending money and buying more to fill it up. It's like I don't need to buy more at this point. Somehow I do. All right, so let's see this one. At least I was consistent. I did every one of these incorrect, so that's okay. So now I've got it. My seam ripper seems to be working really nice this morning. I say that, and then I'm either going to jab myself or it's not going to work right. Oh, you know what? It's time for one more drawing. We only have two more drawings to go. Crazy as that. All right, let me fix this and let me grab what's next. All right, so we can get that sewn in a second. All right, get my notepad. All right, so because I do, I'm a Villa Rosa fan and I do love my Villa Rosa, but at the same time, I do like 3 yard quilts. So one of the new books from 3 yard quilts is the Big Block 3 yard quilt book. So that is what we're going to give away. It's got 8 designs as always in it, and it's got some really cool designs to really feature and show off some of that special fabric that we buy, right? So this is one of the reasons I actually bought this book for myself, was to think about Tula Pink, right? Because I want to show off Tula Pink. So I thought maybe that 3 yard book. I have yet to do one out of the book. Um, just again, it's just because I have too much, right? It's not any other reason. I just have too many patterns going in that. All right, so 3 yard book, Big Block 3 yard quilts. And we are going to do exclamation point Fran, Fran. So we will do exclamation point Fran to give that book away. And good luck. I know someone on the channel is a big 3 yard quilt fan because she got the new panel book, I think, before I even got it ordered. I think she already had hers or had hers on order. Oh, wait a minute, guys, it's not working. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. It is working. Sorry. Wasn't showing because I didn't hit the next tab. Mm-mm. Donna says, I love seeing Halloween decorate or Christmas decorations, holiday decorations. I have tons. I have 4 bins, I think, of Halloween decorations, and I think I have 12 bins of Christmas, to the point that like we used to flip all the bedding. So our sheets, our bedspreads, our pillows, all of that was done for the holidays. And I do the same thing. I switch out for patriotic days. We flip throw rugs, all that kind of stuff. But now it seems like we've gotten so busy, it's really hard to get the decorating done like we used to. Alex says, not breaking the coffee rule, right? Oh, poor Joydy says, if I didn't buy Christmas presents for myself, I wouldn't get anything. Joydy, that's sad to me. Alanda says she wishes her arrow chair had a extension for the back. I just haven't found the right chair yet. This chair's okay, but I can tell you after sitting in it for a couple hours, it's not the most comfortable. Of course, most time I don't sit for 3 hours at a time, right? Carl says, no, I need the cap one. Yes, you do. All right. So let's see who is going to win the 3 yard quilt book. Alex says, I'd love to get the new panel book. Yeah, me too. Like I said, I just ordered it, so I've not seen it. I've been watching, I guess I watch 3 Yard Quilts enough that they pop up in my feed constantly. I knew Jordy, I thought Jordy got it, so she said it does have good ideas. Oh, Mama Jane says I was off. She had take the girls out to walk and then their breakfast. What's Kathy got? So now she's back in sewing again. See, it's hard. So much going on. All right, guys, let's see who is going to win the 3 Yard Quilt book. All right, Nightbot. Landa Rogers wins. Congratulations, Landa. All right, get my notebook. So if you will just send me an email, and it is scrolling across the bottom. And then we have one more giveaway. Guys, I appreciate that you all hang out with me on the holidays and that. It's fun to get to be together a little bit, give out a few gifts and that, and just chat and just catch up. Hmm. Jordy says it's not because her family doesn't like her. No, I get that. Even when I did get along with my family years ago, we had decided um, the adults had quit gifting in that a long time ago. And we bought for our parents only and for the kids. It's what we had decided to do because, it does get expensive. There's so much. My mother never liked it. Her philosophy was you can always go to Dollar Tree and just get a kitchen tea towel or something so that you all can still gift in that. But was what it was, and it worked out for us, and it's all good. Of course, I have a partner to trade with, and I have my niece and her family, her and her husband, and then my 2 kids and their family. So it's enough, believe me, it adds up. It's so crazy. Plus, I have learned the ho 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 to John. So I do end up usually gifting a few things to myself. I will tell you one of the things that I am really excited about this year is I have always forever wanted train, a train set under my Christmas tree. My dad was an old worked for the railroad, so we've always considered ourselves a railroad family, even though he retired from a whole different group. He just got his electrician's journeyman card and that from the railroad. But I don't know, we've always felt a connection to the railroad. And my partner for Christmas last year gave me a train set to go under my Christmas tree. So, needless to say, we didn't end up putting it together last year. Um, but we will this year. So I am really excited to get that out. He bought me several things last year, some really cool things. We've got some Lego sets that were special and trying to do like the Lego Village. I'm a big Grinch fan, so I have a lot of Grinch stuff to put out. And then he bought me a lot of Donald Duck stuff. So at the end of the day, um, my 2 cartoon characters that I am crazy about have always been Donald Duck and um, Scooby Doo. So he bought me several collectibles for Donald Duck last year. So that was really cool. So that was our first Christmas together. So it'll be interesting to see this year. Nothing like your first Christmas together. Yes. See, so look at these. See, these are coming out now that I understand the pattern and have had a revelation. Now I'm getting these put together much better. So, all right. How many more to rip apart? Just 2 more. Maybe I actually did this one right. No, I consistently put it on wrong. At least I was consistent. It's crazy. That's why people go, well, instead of doing, you should do this pattern once before you try to do it on a live. And I'm like, why? Because folks that tune into my channel know I'm real, know who I am, and um, we learn together. So, and if I turn a block wrong, it is what it is. It's not going to be the end of the world. And at the end of the day, a little jack here made it look. I even have a purple seam ripper, made it work out, and I got it put right back together, ready to go. So it doesn't take that long. Would I like to have another block done instead of fixing one? Yeah, but it is what it is, guys. I get to be stressed tomorrow, right? I have to go back to work tomorrow and I have to deal with reality and everybody else's problems and stupid things that employees did over the long holiday weekend that now they regret because now it comes to my desk and we have to look at it and decide what happened. But if employees didn't go out and do crazy stuff, then I wouldn't have a job. So it is what it is. So, all right, one more. See, I ended up putting the two leaves together, not realizing um, the middle one repeats here. So I looked at that different. So now I need to go back. This is my last one, and then I'll be able to move ahead. I don't even know how many overall blocks I need. All right, start on this end maybe. I hate sometimes just getting the seam ripper started. Lainey says I'm working on getting into as many quilting groups as I can on YouTube. It makes all the difference. I tell you what, I have learned so much. I mean, now granted, I have some amazing women like Mama Jan and others that have helped me learn so much because we have a nice quilt club here in the community. But I started before I even thought about joining and going down there. I started on YouTube, and YouTube has helped me so much in so many ways. And um, I don't think it gets the credit sometimes it should. And like I said, first one of the first folks I watched was Ian, and Ian was doing paper piecing. Ian intimidated me a little bit too, right? Because his skill set is so amazing. Um, and that's what really made me want to start a channel is look, guys, this isn't rocket science at the end of the day. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. Let's just sew and make mistakes together and learn from it and move on. And Ian's not a snob at all. We were on Katie's channel together a couple of weeks ago. He is just such an amazing guy and so nice. But again, his skills and Becca's are just amazing. But uh, it didn't take long for me to find people like Sean. I love what Sean does, and Sean laughs at himself. Sean is really quick to say, "Yes, I got to get Jack out and fix this one now, or fix that one." Um, he's really good and honest about it, which makes it fun, right? So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We want to do as much as we can together, and I do appreciate and like what he does. Russ, of course, I found Russ's channel. There's just so many channels out there. And Lainey, if you're looking for a lot of good YouTube channels and that, if you go over to the guy who sews, Sean, let me put his channel in the chat. Wrong button. Sean actually has he's the one guy, right? He's just such a supporter of all the channels and that has sit down and actually made a list of all 7 days of the week, all the different channels that he supports or has been part of. And he has a pretty accurate list of everyone's channel and when they go live and what time and that. And so, no one else has done that. I mean, that's just who he is. He's such an amazing guy. So I would suggest going over there, looking at his page if you haven't already. But he does have a PDF of all the different quilters that are out there, and there's more. So his list is by no means inclusive, um, but it does give you an idea of all the different channels and what folks are doing, what folks are working on. All right, I think I want to do this one. Let's do this, and this. Keeps and Stitches says, I'm putting my own advent box together this year from items I've forgotten that I have. Old kits, a few new ones. Rule is I just make them all in the new year. Oh, I think that would be awesome. See, that's what I probably need to do. But I've got too much squirrel. I mean, it's like the last thing I absolutely need is another Halloween quilt this year. Yet I have the two panels laying, or the two kits set out to possibly sew with Danielle when we do together next week. And I got another one laying there that I want to cut. That is fabric that we bought at Myrtle Beach at the Quilting by the Beach shop that I go to every year when I'm down there for vacation. And I just found the pattern and everything I want to do for it. And it's like, okay, but the last thing I need is another quilt, Halloween quilt. I do need to send one to my daughter and probably need to send one to my niece as well because I have so many being done. But I just love Halloween. I love that work. Brian says, if I were to start a YouTube channel, it would be more of a comedy than an instructional video. Amen. If you notice, I don't do a lot of instruction. I have done one on the steering wheel cover and a few things that I've made, but beyond that, just not me. I would watch Brian, absolutely. Oh, look at Miss Katie. Happy Labor Day from the US, Miss Katie. He goes, I know someone who thinks John should send them a purple seam ripper. I think I only have the one though, because I forgot where I bought it, but it's the I think it's Gypsy, right? Seam Fix, right? Is the name of it, and then it's got the this is supposed to help take the threads off when you do it. I don't get it. I'm not that sophisticated. Look, Jordy even said, see, I didn't see Katie sneak in. I didn't either. See, that's how I got behind on chat again, guys. How did I get so far behind? Jody says she calls hers Pia. I know exactly what Pia is. Oh, Katie got some nice salmon and trout. I bet you do have great seafood over there. I love seafood, which is kind of interesting because my partner is not a big seafood eater. Brian says he calls his seam ripper try again. I call mine a lot of different things. Jody said, at least you didn't name it. Here we go again. Oh, that makes me think of Dolly Parton, right? Here you come again, right? Oh my gosh. Brian says, I thought about calling it second chances, but it's more than that. Captain Stitch just said, squirrel, squirrel. Someone say squirrel. Miss Tilly, the pink eccentric old squirrel, has taken up residence in my stitching cottage. I tell you, it's just so funny. Like yesterday, I'm just trying to sort out all these kits and all the stuff that I have. And again, I have way too much. I know it, and it is what it is. But then I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should work on this one next. And maybe I should work on this one next. And I'm like, guys, why don't you just put it away, right? I mean, just put it on the shelf for now. We're just trying to get the tubs and the bins emptied and trying to get this whole studio organized. And yet I'm planning like the next 5 projects. And we won't even talk about the ones that are sitting on the shelf waiting that I've already cut and gotten ready. And now I'm worried about getting more. And then I saw those Rob Appel pre-cut kits. And I was like, well, they're pre-cuts. I might as well just go on and toss them into the mix. So it's like, okay, I'd have to just sit and sew, 10 hours a day. And I still don't think I would be able to catch up. But I don't know. It's okay. Still enjoy it. All right, let's see if we can get a couple of more, at least rows done. I was hoping to get a whole block done, but I didn't. And that's okay. Life goes on. Do this one here. Make sure we turn this correctly this time. All right. Wow, are we really getting close to the top of the hour again, guys? I cannot believe it's been 3 hours already. Like, oh my God. So we will see how things go. So you finish this quilt and let's talk about some things coming up and going on. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, tell me that that's not going to make a really pretty leaf when it gets done. All right, so there's Miss Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie, thanks for dropping in this morning. Always appreciate it. Always fun to see you. Alex says, Jordy and Brian said they would come help me. I am sure they would. I'll tell you what, it'd be like walking through a Joanne store at the moment. It's crazy. Jordy said her iPad died. Oh, I'm sorry. 3 hours is a long time, right? Brian says 3 hours. We're just about ready to start, right? Tell you what, I have to get ready for Mama Jan. She's coming over this afternoon. She'll point out what I did wrong and say, see, I knew when you were doing that, that was wrong, but I couldn't tell you. But it's all right. All right. Oh, there's Sally. One of these days I'll make the live show. Oh, you usually do. It just well, and see, well, we're on California time right now. So yes, I will say 7 o'clock did come early this morning. I didn't sleep the best last night, but I slept okay, but it was all good. Oh, Jill must have asked what machine. This is the Juki TL18 QVP. If you watch any of the old YouTube videos, you will know that I have been on everything. So I've had Janome, I had a Bernina, I still have a Bernina. I'm a Juki boy. I absolutely love my Jukis. I love how fast they sew. I can piece amazingly on the Juki. I've tried to do my piecing just doesn't work on other machines. I don't know why. I've got the Viking Epic 2. I end up keeping it set up for doing some single embroidery stuff. I didn't like what I don't like anything but my Juki. So I have the Juki. This is the 18, and then I have the Coco Chi, which is the DX4000 is my other machine that I use, but I am a huge Juki fan. Juki is all I sew on. And even at the park home, I've got the TL2000 up there that I use for piecing and that. So I only sew on Juki. I've tried everything else. I've traded everything around, and um, this is it. Sally goes, when my body clock keeps me awake till 3 or 4 a.m., yeah, then you got to get sleep at some point, right? So it just all makes sense. All right, guys, we have one last giveaway today. Let me get my stuff ready. And it is, oh, I found this yesterday and I thought, how cute. Why don't I just give this away? Because I'm never going to get this done in time. So this is called a Halloween Bat and Booze. It finishes out 6 by 18 inches. It's meant to be an easy skill level. The hanger is actually included. In the pattern is formatted for personal cutting machines. I just thought this was so cute when I grabbed it. I already have 4 or 5 other um, wall hangings that I've done for Halloween, and it does come. Look how cute the quilt holder is for that. So I just thought this was too cute, and so I ended up buying it. But then yesterday, when I was rifling through stuff, going, "Oh, I need to get giveaways together," and I thought, you know what? Give that to someone that'll give it a fun, nice home, and let's just make it happen. So for this one, if you would like to be entered, it is exclamation point boo, BOO, exclamation point boo. And let's see if we cannot find this um, cute pattern hanger and that a home for this Halloween. Jill says, I've been thinking about getting a Juki for the speed. I will tell you at the end of the day, I have literally in the last couple of years sewn on everything. I started with a Bernina 770 that's supposed to be the bomb. I've got the Viking Epic 2. I had the Janome. Can't remember which one it was called, but it's their crafting machine. I've got actually 2 Janomes. Um, I've got 2 Vikings. Can't think of what else I've sewn on. But at the end of the day, the only one I really liked was the Juki. And I love my Juki. I will fight you over my Juki. It's my machine. I think Stephanie actually sews on a Janome. She loves her Janome. Yeah, we all find the machines that we like. And so once you find it, um, you'll become that fan, that dedicated person to it. But for me, it's Juki. And I like the price points on Juki. Juki is just so reasonable. You're talking about 1,500 or so for a machine. Their top of the line machine is like 3,300 or something. It's just the right price point. See, Joyce says, "I love my TL18." This is actually the platinum edition. This is the collector's edition they came out with last year. I wanted it. I bought this right before they came out with the other collector's edition, but I didn't need it. You don't get all that much extra. Susan goes, if I ever file my taxes, I can get a Juki too. Shannon, who was just on the channel a couple of weeks ago, she sews on a Juki. Tiffany, at Tiffany Stitches, she sews on Juki. Tiffany sews so fast and hard that she actually wears them out. It's amazing to watch her. All right, about 10 seconds. Exclamation point boo. Let me get over to Nightbot, and let's choose our final winner for the day, and that is Ingrid. Congrats, Ingrid. That is awesome. So if you will send me an email with your address, I will get that out to you this week. congrats. I very exciting. So Charlotte says I saw a Juki as well. So congrats, Miss Ingrid. I'm very excited for that. Oh, just crazy. So, guys, I appreciate that you spent part of your Labor Day weekend with me. I hope that you all had fun. I hope that I kept things lively and engaged. The next one, crazy enough, we go from now, from September 1st all the way into November. So, Veterans Day is the next federal holiday that I have. So, the next Holiday Quilting Bee will be Veterans Day. I have no idea what we'll do. I'll pick a pattern or something sometime in October and get that out. But I appreciate that you all dropped in. If you would hit that thumbs up and do some of those things that the YouTube algorithm likes. Tell your friends, neighbors, and anyone that'll listen. We're over 2,000 subscribers now, which is just amazing to me. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I so enjoyed having our time together today. So, as always, until next time, happy crafting.